Good evening, I am Kareem Zerawell and I am delighted to invite you here at the Limbury Theatre at the Royal Opera House. In tonight's Insight, we dive straight into the upside-down world of Lewis Carroll with Zoo Nation's The Mad Hatter's Tea Party right here at the Limbury, and of course Christopher Wheeldon's Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, which the Royal Ballet are bringing to the main stage on the 28th of September. Here to tell us more about the two different versions of this much-loved story, please welcome Zoo Nation founder Kate Prince, the principal of the Royal Ballet, Stephen McRae, and former principal of the National Ballet of Canada, Gillian Vanstone. Please join me. Indeed, indeed. Kate, Stephen, Gillian, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. It is a pleasure to have you here. And I'm so excited to be here at the Limbury Theatre to start the new Insights of the ballet season. It is genuinely an honour. And look at where we are right now. We're on the Mad Hatter's Tea Party set, right? Mm-hmm. This is it. It's so cool to be in this space.
It's
genuinely.
Underneath this, though. It's black and white checkerboard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, this is being put on special.
Yeah. But look at these costumes as well. This is so cool. So this is from Zoo Nations.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is Christopher Wheeldon's Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. Costumes are cool, right? They're wicked. So Kate, Alice is a story that we all know and love, but your production has a little bit of a remix to the classic story. Tell us about your interpretation and what inspired it.
Well, it was 10 years ago when the Royal Ballet were doing Alice in Wonderland, and Kevin O'Hare asked us, Zoo Nation, to come up with an idea that was based on Alice in Wonderland. And I realised that I didn't know it very well. I sort of knew the cartoon, but I didn't really know it. I didn't know the books. So I went and watched everything that was available to do with Alice, every movie, read every book, looked at it all, and realised I really hated it. I really didn't like it. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. But the thing that struck me particularly when you read the books was all the language used to describe people's madness that was very archaic and very politically non-correct, and sort of reinforces all those negative stereotypes about madness. And I just thought, I wonder what would happen if you took those Wonderland characters and put them in a therapy session. So that was 10 years ago, and actually it's really interesting doing it again 10 years later because our world has changed again, and the conversation about mental health has advanced. So it's been quite interesting with everyone going back to it and seeing how that language has changed again, and trying to get rid of some of the negative stereotypes is the sort of aim of our piece. There's no such thing as normal, and all the best people are mad, which is the one thing I do like from the books.
Yeah, oh, that's good. At least you like something.
Yeah.
Steve and Gillian, you were both part of the initial creation of the work with Christopher Wheeldon. You're back playing the Mad Hatter, and you're helping stage this revival, which is awesome. And we're so happy that you're back performing. Can you tell us a bit about your tapping and how you created the role with Chris, Stephen?
Yeah, so the very first moment of creating this role was actually incredible. At the time, I believe Chris was still playing around with Hatter and Rabbit. There was still a discussion of where this was going. And he then said to me, can you just bring your tap shoes? I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work. So he and I just went into a studio and started to play around with a rhythm.
Yeah.
And very quickly we realized, okay, there's a lot here to have fun with.
Yeah.
So for me it was a joy because in my eyes I'm a dancer. I'm not a ballet dancer, I'm not a tap dancer, I'm just a dancer. And so for me it was a real opportunity, really for the first time, to be able to amalgamate so many styles into one, but on the stage I love performing on. So it was a real honor for me, to be honest. And to have anything created on you, realistically, is every artist's dream.
1,000,000% blank canvas, love that. And Gillian, you were the original Alice when it premiered in Canada, right?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Lauren did it here first,
okay.
And I was Canadian Alice.
That's amazing. And you're now helping with the staging, so I really want to know, what's it like to revisit that work, but from like a complete different angle?
Well, it's a real joy for me. This has always been an incredibly special work. it was a real moment of connection with Christopher and with the work. And actually, Stephen and I met for the first time because he was my Mad Hatter in Canada as well. So some really wonderful things just kind of came together in that time. So I feel really close to it, and it's a really special thing to be able to pass it on to the next generation and to help them find their way in it. Because the wonderful thing about Chris is there's a really strict structure to his work, but then within that structure, people can bring their own personalities into it.
Yeah.
And that's really fun for me to figure out how to stay true to his vision, but also help people feel true to themselves in the ballet as well.
And what makes the story so special to work with? Just a little piece from all of you.
Christopher, you're talking
No, the piece, the story.
piece. Who doesn't like something that's a bit bonkers? Yeah. I just think it's a real explosion of theatre, to be honest. Christopher's production is so theatrical. Obviously, he's one of the greatest creators that we've got today, and he honors the classical vocabulary beautifully, but he's not afraid to remember that we're all here, it's theatre, we're meant to escape reality. And I think the 3 hours of his production truly does that.
Well, that takes us perfectly onto you performing, which is very
Wow,
exciting. Yeah, well, you'll be rehearsing Wilden's Mad Hatter.
Too excited.
Hey, it's a performance. It's amazing. You'll be rehearsing Wilden's Mad Hatter with rehearsal director Christopher Saunders and Grant Green on the piano. Thank you to you all. Kate and Gillian, we'll hear from you a little bit later. But for now, let's see them work their magic. It's Stephen and Chris.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, I snapped my knee before Christmas. I say snapped because it really did. So this will be the first ballet back onto the main stage. So Chris and I have had to navigate a path back into this role, finding what's okay, what's still a bit uncomfortable, and what's totally off limits still. So yeah, give you some context.
And what's hard for Stephen is tapping he doesn't have to think about. It's so natural. And the body wants to do what it used to do. But we've just got to make sure that we do it without hurting anything else.
Yes, exactly.
So
Anyway.
my beady eye will be there to make sure. I'm going to come down here out the way, and then everyone can see. So, Grant.
You're going to leave me down there.
I am.
Okay.
From the top, please. Good. Excellent. Good. Still, we worked on the other day your pirouette.
Yeah.
Flip, flack, heel. And actually sitting
Why
over
did we
here.
create something so difficult?
I know why. You fool. But sitting over here where Alice would normally be at the edge of your stage.
Yeah, do it to her.
Do it to her.
Yeah.
Because what happens is when your hips are facing that way, I can see you're not actually over your leg before you even start.
I can see Moira. Moira is my physio as well for many years. I was very aware of my alignment.
You were very... All of this was really good. Really good. But this, you're not helping set yourself up squarely, right there. And then use the Yeah, and use even a little bit more maybe of a flip-flack, because you're still going to get that beat. Da, da. So maybe da, ja, ba, ba. That's it. Yep, yeah, that's it.
Good.
Grant, do you know where that is? Give us... Oh. Now we're going to try and hum it.
Me, 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 me.
There we go. That's it. Yes. Go on. Ah! The first one was good. We're just not quite getting round enough.
Yeah.
Use,
put that weight on
use that one as also to
Yeah.
give yourself a bit of a push.
Good.
Good, good, good. Should we cut and do...
I jump off,
You jump off.
pour the tea.
That little section.
Yeah.
The pullbacks going around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Maybe straight on jumping off.
yeah. Do you have jumping off the stage? Perfect. Here we
I don't
go.
know how I'm jumping off the stage yet, 'cause I haven't jumped,
No.
but
We'll
we'll get.
We've
we'll
got a few
navigate.
weeks to go. We'll work on that one. Here we go. And... Good. That's it. Okay, we can stop there because there's a very good, very good. You could. I still think you could make that position a little bit more. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. If you can keep this one completely front and
Don't
turn
worry,
that
knee.
Da-da-dum. That's it. Good, good,
Okay.
good. Excellent. Shall we now just do that last little bit across
Yeah. Good.
where March Hare and Hatter go across the front after pushing the teapot? Yep, you got that, Grant? Just a little lead in would be lovely. Thank you. Good. That's it. Good. That's it. Okay, good, good, good. Let's stop there. Very good. Just one thing. I remember when he was creating it on you, I've told the others, the March Hare and the Alice's, to keep this, because originally that was more of a...
On the floor.
On the floor and almost like
Holding.
a quarter rondejom.
Ah, okay.
So otherwise, when the four of you join in together, and especially when you're going the
Alice.
opposite ways, don't want Alice getting the heel. So just be careful that it's a little bit more contained. That's it. There you go. Excellent. That's all looking really good. Really good.
Is the last bit?
Secure. No? The very last bit?
Yeah,
yes.
just when she takes the hat.
Have you got where... You want me to be Alice? Come on, I'll be your Alice.
Oh,
I'm going to take the hat.
I thought you meant the little part.
No. The very last bit where... Okay. Thank you. Yes. Very good. Now we just need to get your March Hare and your Dormouse and Alice.
We shall get there.
Excellent.
Good.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Stephen! Wow. Thank you so much, Grant, on the piano, Chris, and of course, please one more time for Stephen. Makes it look so easy. Next up, we have Kate Prince, who'll be rehearsing Alice and Hatter from the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. So please join me in welcoming Kate, Natasha, and Turbo. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello. Turbo, I'm going to start with you. All right, you have danced this role many a times. Tell me one thing you love about this role.
The one thing I love about this role is the ability to be free and expressionate and kind of let things happen as they do at that time there. So it can be very freestyled or structured freestyled in the moment of that character. By the way, my name's Isaac, by the way. My mum didn't call me Turbo when I was
Natasha, you're playing Alice. That's so cool. What are you loving about this role in the production?
What I'm loving most about Alice is just being able to express the things that she goes through and just the journey that her character goes on. She starts off by being very distressed and just venturing out to Wonderland, just creating a safe space is where she still suffers with mental, interpretation, but she also is able to express herself just that little bit more because she feels more comfortable. So I enjoy most is just seeing that journey with Alice.
Oh, that's really cool. And Kate, I understand that no performance is ever exactly the same, right? So improvisation and freestyling, as Turbo said, is key to your production. How do you rehearse that then?
So like Turb said, so it's structured freestyle because it's very much part of hip hop culture that you would be able to be free. And to me, it is an expression of freedom to dance. So particularly with performers like these guys and all the company of Z Nation, if you tie them down so that everything is a step, you don't actually allow them to be the dance artists that they are because the actual style that they are trained in is to be free. So we have choreography and we have freestyle and it fluctuates between the two. So sometimes they know they've gone into a bit of unison and everyone's the same. Sometimes it might be a solo and it's set, but very rarely. So, and we also have double cast. So if you see one Alice, her freestyle section will be completely different to the next night and the other Alice will go a completely different direction with it. Okay. But the thing that's keeping them together is the story and the emotion and why they are dancing. So much of the work we do on all our shows is it's not the what, it's the why. So once they know the why, then they're free to be themselves.
Well, I can't wait to see the rehearsal. I really, really can't. I'll leave you to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to say I'll freestyle off, but I don't think
no, go on, you can do that, Kareem. Come on,
freestyle.
Come on.
I'll leave it to the professionals.
Okay, do you want to? So I'm going to start with Turbs. I'm going to keep an eye on my watch so that I've got it all timed and planned. So what we're going to do is they're a week into doing shows, so they've already done a week of performances. Turbo first played this character 10 years ago, so it's a 10-year revival. What I'm going to do to start off with, it's a bit of an experiment, is I'm going to pretend that I've told him nothing about his character, doesn't even know it's Alice in Wonderland, doesn't know he's playing the Mad Hatter, and has never heard this music. And we're going to play Dapper Hatter from 3 minutes 38, if that's all right, Erin. And we're just going to do a little section of it, and I'll stop it after a while. And I'm going to ask just Turbo as a dancer to just listen to the music, no character, and just see where the music takes him. So you can see what a non-structured freestyle might look like from an artist like Turbo. The other thing I should say as well is that 10 years ago when we made the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. And when I said I hated Alice in Wonderland, I didn't mean I hated Alice in Wonderland. I hated the use of language about madness, and that's what leapt off the page to me, was how madness was talked about. So I just wanted to clarify that, because there's a lot of beauty in the story, as both productions, I'm sure, show. But 10 years ago, I was very heavily pregnant. So instead of me choreographing the whole show, I worked with the original cast, and we divided the choreography between us because I could not cope with the whole thing. So the whole original cast is credited as choreographers for it. So I should be clear on that as well, because I don't want to take credit where credit is not due. So Turbs, you've never heard this. I'm Kate, hi. Nice to meet you, Isaac, hi. Hi. Here's a piece of music. See what you make of it, just for about 30 seconds or a minute. Thank you. Great. It's 3 minutes 38 on Dapper Hatter. Do you need any tech support? Is Lorenzo around? Yeah. That's all right, Erin. Here comes Lorenzo. Lorenzo, save the day. Turbo, how long have you been dancing for?
Oh, wow. It's been 27 years.
And what got you into dance in the first place?
What got me into dance was my mum. My dad was in a reggae band. My mum was an African dancer. And I went to open African dance class when I was 3. What was unique was when you danced, you would have drummers around you in a circle playing the drums and djembes, and then the teacher would switch. So then the dancer becomes the drummer. And then, wait.
I knew that was going to happen.
1, 2.
I thought, take your shoes off.
1, 2.
So there'll be drums around. We'll have drums around in a circle, and the dancer will dance to the drums, and then the teacher will switch us back and forth, so then the dancers became drummers, and the drummers became the dancers.
That's amazing.
How to play as well as dance.
I love that.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm being given a thumbs up. Thanks for the story, because it filled some time. It was good. It was good. It was good. Yeah. Okay, so you've never heard this piece of music before, you don't know what the story is, and you don't know what your character is. Thank you.
Yes, look, this thing I'm dropped up, locked down and latching to the brook. It's not me, it's the mercury. The mercury. The mercury. It's not me, it's the mercury. The mercury. The mercury.
Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to play that again and just give me a little bit of interpretation to it. Same place, please. That is actually very different to how it sounds in the show as well, so that probably has thrown you off. Yeah. Thank you very much.
It's not me, it's the
just when it's getting going. Okay, so now we have done all our rehearsal, and within the rehearsal, I've said in this moment, you're going to be imprisoned in prison bars, and it's a metaphorical prison that's put you inside because the Mad Hatter is a milliner. And milliners soak the fabric in a solution that has mercurious nitrate in it, mercury. And the mercury's gone under your fingernails, into your bloodstream, and given you mercury poisoning. And your character is actually dying. But the effects of the mercury poisoning are that your body shakes and tremors, and it's uncontrollable, and there's nothing you can do about it, and that it's gone in your bloodstream, it's affected your lungs, and your breathing is labored, and it's going to build to a moment where your character is going to die and go off to the woods to die. So he's on a massive journey, and this moment here is him pleading for compassion because everyone's treating him like he's a freak because he can't stop shaking. Same bit, please. And you're in a prison, so you can't move very far. Thank you.
It's not me, it's the mercury. The mercury. The mercury. It's not me, it's the mercury. The mercury.
Lovely. Thank you. Well done, well done, well done. Lovely. And then the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is now take it up to what you actually do in the show after all those weeks of rehearsal where we've talked about the freestyle, we know what the character is, we know what his symptoms are, we actually know the staging of the routine, we know when you cross left, when you cross right, when you're kicking, when you're in unison with other people, and just take yourself through that paces so it goes up one more level. Cool. Yeah? Here we go. I'm going to stretch. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
This way to been a curious look. Next thing I'm drugged up, locked down, and latching to the brook. It's not me, it's the mercury. The mercury. The mercury. It's not me, it's the mercury. The mercury. The mercury.
Thank you. You can have a rest now. It's Tasha's turn. Thank you. Well done. Tasha, well done. Right, so we're very going to quickly do the same exercise. I know we had a bit of a delay because of sound, but am I okay for time? How much longer have I got? Don't know. We'll keep going until someone does this, okay? So we're going to do the same thing, just really briefly with Alice. We're going to come in at 2 minutes 50 on Stumble I Might Fall. I'm going to pretend I haven't known and worked with you for 16 years, since you were about 15. And so you've never heard this before. So because we're a bit pushed on time, on this first pass, just move to it. You don't know the story, you don't know what it's about, you're just hearing a piece of music. Thank you.
Hold me back, you know you're gonna have to restrain me. Oh, don't you know that I just wanna fit in?
Well done. Lovely. So now we're going to look at that same section as it actually exists in the show. So the first part of it is structured choreography that's done in unison with lots of other people. So we're going to go from Shaking and a Quaking, which was choreographed by Elizabeth Goff. Yep. And that is a little group sequence that moves us around the stage, and it's very set, strict choreography. And then when we get into the second section, which is 2 minutes 50, we're going to really look through all of this. We're going to look at Alice's story in our show and what's going on with her, which is that she's got a cupcake and a drink. One is eat me taller, the other one is drink me smaller. And every time she eats anything, her body changes size, and she's fallen down a rabbit hole, and she's very stressed because a lot's been going on, and she doesn't trust anything because every time she eats or drinks anything, she keeps changing. And so she's sort of stopped eating. So we do look at some stories as her storyline based around the idea of having an eating disorder because you've become so stressed about food. And this is the culmination of her piece. And although the music is quite up, it was kind of inspired by a Bruno Mars song, Locked Out of Heaven. It's quite up in its feel. The lyrics are quite distressing. And at the end of it in our show, she actually tries to throw herself off the balcony and the whole company catch her. So her structured freestyle, which comes after the choreography, you'll see there's a real change in how she's moving. It's a cry for help. So whereas Tash freestyled, first of all, then without knowledge of what the story was, it was free and expressive and quite open, and her character was open. Now her character is going through a lot. So I hope you can see a huge difference in the two sections. Good luck, Tash. You got it. You got it. Same place, please. One of the things I love about all the dancers that we work with in Z Nation over the past 22 years is that I think dancers are quite underestimated as actors and what beautiful actors they can be and how they tell stories, and you don't necessarily have to be verbal to be a beautiful actor, and you two are two of the finest, if you ask me. Now we're just going to have a little look for the last 2 minutes. We're going to play a number called Hatter's House, which starts with a freestyle and goes into choreography. Tasha's going to play the March Hare and then do a chorus of Hatter's House with you. And you'll see something, this is actually Turbo's choreography, this number, from 10 years ago. And it's about bringing one of the characters back to life who's been having a terrible time. So it's about all of us trying to rise up and come back to a positive place in our lives. So this is a combination of freestyle. First chorus, just face front. Is that all right? Yeah, if you just stand next. Yeah. No. You just face front on the first chorus. So that the chorus, so the reason why I've done it like this, when Tash joins in, that's choreography. Up until that point, that's freestyle. And it's different every night. I never know what he's going to do. And I love that. And I love when I come and watch the show with all of them, when it gets to a freestyle, I'm like, how are they feeling today? Where are they going to go today? What are they going to do today? And it means you're always on the edge of your seat. So 2 minutes and then we're done, because I can see I'm running out of time. From the top of Hatter's House, please. Tash, can you pretend to be Ernest as well, just so we've got someone to play off? Thank you. So Ernest is the person who needs help. So that's beginning of Hatter's House, just from 0, please. Thank you. turn the volume up a bit, please? Done 3 shows over the weekend, and I know that they are very, very tired, plus press night on Friday. Thank you. You're good. Thank you so much. Well done.
Applause going for Kate, Natasha, and Turbo. Woo. The energy was incredible, so dynamic, right? Oh, get me going. Love it. Next up, lucky for us, we have more dancing, of course, and I'm delighted to welcome dancers from the Royal Ballet, Viola Pantuso and Ella Newton-Severnini, coached by Gillian Vanstone. Ella, Viola, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. You are both making your debuts as Alice. That is amazing. How excited are we? First, Ella, tell me, what are you doing in rehearsals at the moment, and are you having fun?
Yes, I'm having fun. Today, we sort of focused on a lot of the scenes with the Red Queen. Obviously, Alice is a narrative ballet, so we're obviously working on the technical aspect of things, but sort of delving into the character of Alice alongside that, which has been super fun, yeah.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. I'm glad you're having fun. I can't believe it's your debuts. It's cool. So young. And Viola, what are some of the challenges that you're facing in rehearsals? Because I'm guessing the choreography is quite demanding, right? There must be a few obstacles in your way that are tough.
Yeah, I mean, Alice is on stage for the entire 3-act ballet. She never leaves, and if she does, it's for a quick change. So there's a lot of material we have to get through. We have to have a lot of high stamina, and it's a lot to remember and think about. A lot of interacting with other characters on stage, but it's a really exciting journey. And as soon as Alice goes down the rabbit hole, she enters into Wonderland, and she dives into all these mini worlds within Wonderland itself. So it's really very fun, actually.
So much fun, really but so much to remember.
So much to remember.
And Gillian, tell us a little bit about what we're going to see in this rehearsal.
So like Viola said, she never leaves, but there's also not a lot of time where Alice is all by herself. And at first I'll focus with Viola on little snippets of moments where she has sort of a mini solo within the storyline, either as a transition piece or an interaction with the Rabbit or Lewis Carroll, that sort of thing. And for Ella, there's one moment in the ballet where everything clears. All the stage is free of set. And it's this really beautiful moment of connection with Alice because she's gone down the rabbit hole and there's so much chaos and so much to see and so many things that she's experiencing. And there's this beautiful moment where she becomes self-reflective and we connect with her once again and what she thinks and what she feels about what she wants to be and who she wants to be. And it's one of my favorite parts of the ballet.
Oh, well, we're very excited to see it, this rehearsal. So I'll leave you to it. Rehearsing Alice from Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. It's Viola and Ella. I'll take your mic.
So I'll start with Viola. You can stay there. All right, so in this scene, this happens before Alice goes down the rabbit hole. And in Christopher's version, he's made her 15 years old. So he's made her a little bit older. And she has a relationship. Her very best friend is the garden boy in her family's home. And he mistakenly is accused of having stolen the tarts, and he gets fired. And she's very sad about it. And at this point, Lewis Carroll has not turned into the White Rabbit, and he gives her a fan to cheer her up. And at the time, it would have been a really special thing to own because it would have been imported all the way from China, and it would be a very precious item. So she may not have seen one of these before. Very nice. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, very good. So many of the things we've already talked about are there. You'll want to come a little bit further downstage, yeah, and a little bit farther out because we'd love to see that long bourrée going all the way past center. This one, can you show us a little bit more of your back as you go into that? So we see the opposition, and then we see you this way in the releve. Yes, very nice. Lovely, lovely. This one, I can see it also because I'm sitting at that ankle, but can you cross those just a little bit more as you go? Yes, and the piqué and brush. Yes, 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 exactly. This one, it's getting really good, actually. This is a devilishly hard step that he added later in a later iteration, but it's really, really challenging because she has to stay on one leg and keep her balance as she's brushing the other. A little bit, can you keep that first one before going on? Yes, there we go. A little bit of a better balance there. That's very nice. Let's just try that one more time and come way down so we can see that beautiful travel. Yeah? Thank you. And. Very nice. I saw you thinking about the crossing. That's okay. Don't worry, I know you know it. Very nice. I'll take your fan for you so you can get rid of this. The next moment we'd like to show is after the caucus race. So now she's gone down the rabbit hole. She's had a moment in the hallway where she's shrunken down and grown tall and all this chaos has happened to her. And then she goes through into the pool of tears and finds herself in the caucus race. And all these animals are surrounding her. And eventually they clear. And she has a moment of, how did I get in here? Where am I? What am I meant to do? And this is another short interlude moment. Thank you. Good, good, good. Lovely. I only have two things to say about this one. I'm wondering, can you delay the extension of the leg with the arm so that we have a little bit of resistance in both the arm and the leg as you go? Yes. And then as you step across here, can this step back turn into the drag? So we really see that opposition beginning. Yes, yeah. Exactly, exactly. Final thing, let's get just a little bit of that arm forward for the turn. Try one more time and just give a really squishy plie. There you go. Very nice. Excellent, excellent. So from Viola, we have one last thing that we'd like to show, and this is right near the end of the ballet. And Jack, the garden boy, who turns into the Knave of Hearts down in Wonderland, he's been accused of stealing the tarts. And there's a whole trial, and everybody's saying that he stole the tarts. And in the end, she gets really brave and admits that it was actually her that stole a tart and gave it to him. So this is a moment that we call "It Was Me." Very nice. You can probably see that there's some very difficult transitions in this particular moment. So we'll just take a look at a couple of those. Beginning, the feeling is really there now, which is really, really lovely. Coming into this transition, you don't have to hit a perfect fifth position. You can come through so that the momentum keeps going. Yes, and then this one, if you can keep your arms just a little bit lower and slightly different there. Yes, exactly. Now with this one, can you just get a little bit higher up and step out a little bit more? So be brave with it. There you are. Yes, exactly. Very, very nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you this one. Well done. Good, good, good. So as mentioned, this is actually one of my favorite parts of the ballet. So this is another section. We call it the Alice Alone solo. And like I said, this happens pretty much just after Tea Party, actually. And we have a very short moment with the Cheshire Cat, and she's left completely alone. And it's this beautiful blue stage. And at a certain point in the solo, it's about to transition into the caterpillar, and we see the smoke coming across the back scrim, and it's saying sentences like, "Who am I, and what am I, and where am I?" And so that's sort of the reflective part of the ballet for Alice and who she wants to be in the world. So it's a little bit smaller than what we'll have on stage to come way down. And if we can just have a short introduction, please. Thank you. hate to stop you because it's so beautiful. Very, very nice. Yeah, well done. Yeah, we haven't been running it all the way through yet, so as much as I'd love to have her continue because it's so lovely, we'll stop and start a little bit. First step, so much better. Yeah. Really good. Yeah, excellent. This one, can we have a little bit of showing a little bit more this scoop under the arm, and this one stays a little bit more still and doesn't move so that this one doesn't also go. Yeah, so the structure of it is under and then open. Yeah, good, good, and really nice press through the foot. This one, if you step a little bit more directly, try not to overcross because then you can have a little bit of moment that's not as stable, yeah? Yes, that's better, that's better. Uh-huh, uh-huh, yes, 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 exactly. And just a little bit, can you keep a little bit more forward so we have a falling feeling in this moment? So pulling back, hips go forward, yes, and then back on balance. Yeah, 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 exactly, nice. This was very nice, this was very nice. We see that same bourrée moment as from the fan solo, which is lovely. And then a little bit the same, try to be a little bit more direct sideways on that piqué arabesque. So we overcross a little bit, then it's not as stable going into that next moment. Yes, that's better. And there you are. Yes, exactly. Good, good, good. Can we have a lead into the Poirot moment? We nickname a lot of things in the score. So if it sounds strange, we just come up with nicknames so that the pianist and the dancer knows exactly where we're coming from. Ella. Yes, I won't do this section because her sisters come in and join as a memory. Very, very nice. Grant, can we skip to the very end, the last scoop step of the ballet? So this is after the point and coming all the way back. So this is the very end of the solo.
How good was that? Thank you so much, Viola and Ella. Really looking forward to seeing your debuts. I can't wait. It's fantastic, right? One more time, please, for Viola and Ella. Brilliant. So good. So young. Right now, we're going to have a chat about all things mental health, what's normal, and the arts. So please welcome back Kate Prince, Stephen McRae, and Jen Walters, Executive Director of Social Change at Mind. Thank you for joining me. I'll let you get comfy. What an amazing evening of dance we've had. I was just thinking then, it's been so nice to see both characters from both productions side by side. That's what I've really loved about it. A masterpiece from both, so please do make sure you try and catch these productions. Stephen, you were the original Hatter in Wilderness Ballet, but I'm intrigued to know, do you see any similarities with Zoo Nation's Hatter, or are they worlds apart?
I mean, you can draw comparisons to anything in life, can't you? And I think that's the joy of particularly the arts. It's up to the observer to draw whatever it is that you want to draw, what you connect with, what you feel is either relevant to you or what hits you. You can't compare. I mean, they're two different worlds that do exactly the same thing, which is make you think.
Yeah. And Kate, you have created many characters that all exhibit mental health challenges. Can you tell us a bit about those characters?
Yeah, I think, Zoo Nation has a history of trying to bring in a younger audience and creating family work and diversifying audiences in general. And I wanted to try and find a way to make the conversation around mental health a bit easier for young people, and that the contents of our show might be a conversation starter, because a young kid of any age, actually, whether you're a teenager or younger, it might make you think, oh, see how Alice had that problem, or see how the white rabbit, for example, who has OCD. And we did a lot of research, and every single story that we tell is based on lived experience, either of somebody in the company or of a relative of someone in the company. So we didn't just go, hey, wouldn't it be fun if someone had OCD? It wasn't like that at all. It was all very much based in truth. But that we tried to get quite a broad spectrum of different challenges, mental health challenges that people have, and then just look at how what the difference is to that person if society treats them with compassion as opposed to ostracizing them. That's our theme.
Yeah, and I guess when you watch that, then it opens up conversations for the younger people, which is great. And Jen, lovely to have you here. Thank you for being here. You are the Director of Social Change for Mind. Can you first of all introduce Mind and the brilliant work you do?
No, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. And Mind is incredibly privileged to have been a small part of supporting the show, the production. So Mind, we are the leading mental health charity in England and Wales. We have 150, more than 150 shops. We're growing all the time. We've got local services across the country. We have an info line where people can go on and get tons of information. We have, phone line, and we are there to campaign and to lobby on behalf of people across the country to support mental health problems.
Brilliant. And Kate, you want to challenge viewpoints around what is normal. Is there no such thing as normal?
Oh, well, look, that's what we quite loudly shout at the audience by the end of the show, is that there's no such thing as normal. I think, if I'm honest, and I suppose the whole point of the show is trying to talk about mental health challenges without feeling shame. And when we were making the show 10 years ago, I was very aware of my own mental health challenges, and that I felt that I couldn't really mention them in a professional situation in case nobody wanted to hire me again, because they might think, oh, archaic language, she's crazy, why would we hire her? I find Mad Hatter quite a hard one to do. I think it's quite upsetting, some of it, but also we try and make it uplifting. And the main thing for me that helped me in my life with mental health challenges was music and dance. Dancing from the age of 3, playing the piano, writing music, doing choreography. And a lot of Zoo Nation's work as well is trying to get young people dancing, being creative, because of the benefits it has to your social development and your mental well-being. So for me, it's a show about mental health, but it's using the thing that makes me feel better and makes other people better and feel better. So it's like a layered sandwich.
And what I love about your production is that it does spotlight the benefits of music and dance to mental health. So Stephen, let's talk a bit about those benefits. Being a dancer is such an important thing to you. It's who you are. And back in 2019, you had a serious injury where you snapped your Achilles tendon, am I right, on stage?
Yep.
Wow. That is
upstairs.
Horrific. Tell us a bit about the challenges you faced during your recovery and the impact it had on your mental health.
So I have 3 young children. My third was 5 weeks old when it snapped. So we had a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 5-week-old. So it was a hell of a lot of energy in the house. And my poor wife essentially had 4 children. And then I had the surgery, they reattached it all and all of that sort of stuff. And 3 months into the recovery, COVID hit. So we were all suddenly locked in the house. I still couldn't walk. 3 young children, trying to rehab via Zoom with the medical team that I really needed them to touch.
Couldn't get to physio or
and
anything.
couldn't do anything. Going back to your point about what music and dance can do, music and dance literally saved us in that lockdown period. Of course, I couldn't move, but for my children, we had music on constantly. They were racing around, trying all sorts of moves. They were doing, bits of Joe Wicks workouts, and I was creating these silly routines with them at home. But that's what music and dance did. It kept them sane. The reality is music and dance is my life, and that essentially was completely taken away from me. So my own mental health suffered severely.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you do something like this for a living and it's completely taken away from you and you have a young family, it magnifies and elevates everything so much. And we, in our professions, and we all do it. It's not just artists. You all do it as well. You wrap your self-worth around what you do for a living. And when something happens to that, your stocks and shares in your own self go plummeting down.
Yeah.
And so my value of my assets was bankruptcy. I felt completely worthless. And thankfully, I was able to get the support with mental health. We have a wonderful sports psychologist at the Royal Ballet, and I actually had an additional psychologist outside. And close friends. Federico Bonelli, a very close friend of mine who's now director of Northern Ballet, was the one who made it very clear to me that it's not your last performance. What you do on stage is not based on one performance. Our lives are made of the most incredible journeys, and it all means something. There's this horrible saying in the theatre world that you're only as good as your last performance, which is the most destructive thing anyone could ever say to anybody, because no artist is ever happy with their performance. So I was very lucky to be surrounded by that, and of course my wife and children were the constant. The children obviously, as anyone who has children, they challenge you.
Yes.
But they also give you the greatest joy in the world. So I felt very fortunate, although we were confined into these 4 walls throughout lockdown. They kept me sane.
That's good to hear. And Jen, since 2017, the number of young people struggling with their mental health has doubled. And I find it's harder for the younger generation, well, everyone for that matter, to open up and discuss how they're actually feeling. Do you feel productions like Mad Hatter's Tea Party can help with this sort of thing?
Please say yes.
Well, the very, very good news is all the evidence absolutely unequivocally says yes. So, hearing, even from your own lived experience of mental health, the power that you have found in music, in the arts, we know, like, in our lifetimes, across our lifetimes, 2/3 of us will have a diagnosed mental health condition of some kind, and that is huge.
Yeah.
1 in 4 over any given year. And for young people, we've heard the stats, and that is that is significant. That is huge. The power of art, the power of creativity, the power of music, we see day in, day out at Mind. We've done our own research, which shows that about 1/3 of young people said it completely dispelled lots of myths for them. 1/5 of young people who engaged in music and drama of some kind were able to have mental health conversations and seek help. And that is huge. These are huge numbers of young people. And it has the power to basically be in their spaces, to make sure that actually they're being communicated with in a way that is so personal to them, so familiar to them, and to smash through any barriers. I cannot emphasize enough the power of productions like this and the music and actually being able to reach young people and genuinely help people. So thank you.
Yeah, it really does help. And Stephen, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland has been used by the Royal Ballet at Opera's Create and Learn programme to find accessible ways into ballet and dance. You've been a part of it, leading schools and workshops. I've also been a part of it. What's so powerful about using music and dance to help children struggling with mental health?
I mean, it's always easier just to relate it to a personal experience. So as a young kid, I was an incredibly shy kid. I would hide behind my mom, wouldn't speak to a soul. Age 7 was taken to my first dance lesson. And I say to people, it was like a tiger unleashed. For an hour, I went absolutely like high octane through the roof. The teacher just kept screaming, jump as high as you can, spin as fast as you can, fall over, you'll have a laugh, get back up, go again. And it was the greatest hour of my life. I can tell you exactly what everybody was wearing, what the room was like, everything. It's implanted into my brain. And I see it personally with my own children. I'm not saying at their dance lesson that they go to, but I'm just saying the experience of movement, expressing themselves, just letting them feel these feelings and emotions that they don't even understand what it is, but their body's telling them to do something. Or my son, I watch him and we listen to all sorts of music in our house. And he sometimes just gets completely lost. You can see his brain has gone and his mind is wandering. And I just think that's the most beautiful gift
thing to see.
Anyone can be given. So I think, unfortunately, society is forgetting more and more the absolute power of the arts. The arts is not some additional add-on that the privileged enjoy. It is for every single human. I do not come from the world of privilege. It created this extraordinary journey in life for me. Beyond what I just do on stage, it helped me discover who I am, where I want to be, what I want to do, the people I look up to, be inspired by. It's so much more than just a finished product on a stage for a few people.
It really is. Now, I would like to ask you all, what can we keep doing to make sure we're having these open and honest conversations and that we can keep teaching young people that there is no such thing as normal? Kate, I'll start with you.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm very aware that generations older than me I can only speak for my own family, so I'm not going to speak broadly for a whole generation, but certainly an attitude of don't talk about it, brush it under the carpet. It's, it's a problem, so we're not going to talk about it, and it's private, and so shush. And the result of that for me as a younger person was very troubling and made me feel like I'd always done something wrong because I was having troubles, but I wasn't allowed to talk about them at home. And I understand generationally why that happened, because the generation above that was saying the same thing. Don't talk about it, don't talk about it. And my late father, I adored him, but he did used to say to me, I don't do emotion, which is a very hard thing as a daughter to receive when I'm a very emotional person. But for me, it's trying to talk about stuff with no shame. No shame, however you're feeling. Don't feel bad about it. Find someone to talk to, because it can change your life. And more than anything, turn the radio on, get up, dance, do something, move, listen to some music, sing, jump around, get them. If it's not ballet, street. If it's not street, tap. If it's not tap, anything, flamenco, stamp, whatever, but move. Because you can move the energy, you can move what you're feeling inside, you can move it. And music and dance, for me, it's more than necessary. It's oxygen. It's how you should live.
I mean, beautifully said. Jen, from your perspective, would you like to add anything onto that?
I mean, wow, how to follow that, I think. But, I think you've really encapsulated the importance of, of being human and actually to keep the conversation very open and keeping it going. You know, we've seen massive strides actually in challenging stigma over many years with campaigns like Time to Change and other campaigns where we are talking so much more about mental health now. That is really positive. We need to keep talking about it. I think one message from me is it can be really simple. We've heard today, it's the personal, it's about your lives, it's about everybody's lives. And so, for example, I've got 2 teenage daughters, and you know, it's finding the moments. It can be the quiet moments. It's where actually, let's just keep checking in with each other. And we might not always get the response that, you know, that we were hoping for example, as a parent. It might be that our teenager or whoever our friend is busy, but let's just keep talking. Yeah. Let's just keep checking in, because checking in is a thing that we need to do, and people knowing that you're there and that we're all having that conversation is so powerful.
Yeah. And Stephen, a final word from you.
I think the openness, it's got to come from everybody. I know I'm in a very fortunate position. I dance for one of the greatest companies in the world. I know that there are an entire generation of young kids who look at us. It's my responsibility to be open about that, which I try to be as open as I possibly can, whether it's social media or going to the schools and telling them, wow, this part of the career, it's beautiful, it's amazing, but this part, I really struggle with this part. And that's not even mental health, that's just the reality of it all. And that's really is, I think, the most powerful thing anybody can do, especially if you know you're in a position where somebody will listen. Don't waste that opportunity. Yeah. Be honest and open about it. Don't put this facade of, no, everything's great. I have this beautiful, wonderful, perfect life. Of course, there are beautiful, amazing moments, but that's not the reality all the time. And I think to bring it back to home, and we try to do that with the children, and say to them, you know, I felt really scared when I did this particular thing, or that made me feel really vulnerable. But I didn't run away from it. I was able to recognize, like, oh, I'm feeling this way. Is there something I can do? Can I get help? Can I speak to somebody? Can I share that with somebody? And we just try to be as open and honest with them, because that is the reality. I don't think there are many people in life that sail through on a lovely silver spoon.
Yeah, definitely not. Thank you. Yeah.
If I may, very quickly as well, at Mind we have got on a website. As I'm here, I feel it's important to let you know that our information on our website is we've got tons on there. So if anyone is looking for any particular support, we will have, if Mind hasn't got the resource, we will signpost you to an organisation that can help you. So please don't hesitate, and we have got an info line that's open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 as well, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thank you. Well, sadly, that is all we've got time for, but please do try and catch these performances. You won't regret it. The Mad Hatters Tea Party right here at the Limbury until the 24th of September.
Yes, I think it's sold out.
We'll stick you at the sound desk.
I've been told. There's not many tickets, but please come.
Please try and check it out. And Alice's Adventures in Wonderland on the main stage from the 28th of September. Thank you to everyone involved here this evening. Thank you for you guys for showing up here at the Limbury Theatre. And of course, thank you to everyone at home and across the world for watching. Good night.